Hello, Martha Alderson, the Plot Whisperer. We're now moving along on our plot book club series for writers, and this series is to help reinforce the plot concepts in both my book, The Plot Whisperer, Secrets of Story Structure Any Writer Can Master, and it's also to use an example, more examples to sort of highlight the first YouTube series, which is how do I plot a novel, memoir, or screenplay on YouTube. So today we're going to talk about one of the 4 energetic markers. Last time we talked about the fact that there are these 4 energetic markers, and I decided this week we're going to start at the end. We're going to start at the climax, because so many writers never get to the end of their story. And really, if you know the end, it makes writing the beginning so much easier, because the climax will define what needs to come at the beginning. So rather than obsess about the beginning, where am I going to start, what am I going to put in there, write whatever words come all the way to the end, see what's going on at the climax, how the character transforms, what all that means, and then go back and sort of determine some of these other points in the beginning. So the climax usually hits about 1 chapter or 1 scene before the end of the story, the book, or the screenplay. And in our example, the book club, the book that we're reading this month for our book club is Change of Heart. In the dramatic action plot, it's the hanging. The man who has been convicted of killing a father and his young daughter has lost all the, the whatever they are to get him so that he doesn't have to be hung, and now is the time for the hanging. So the climax of the dramatic action plot is the actual hanging itself, and they sort of go into detail about it, so you really get the drama of that moment. Then almost immediately after the dramatic action plot climax is the character emotional development plot climax. Oftentimes all of the 3 major plot lines, the theme, the character, and the dramatic action, they all sort of coalesce at the same scene for the climax. But other times these scenes can be used to build impact to get to the ultimate climax. So for the climax, for the character emotional development, is when his attorney, the man who's just been hanged, when his attorney stands up and she speaks her truth in regards and on behalf of the hanged inmate. So when she's able to do that, when she can stand up and speak her truth, and she does it in front of her boss, she worries about her job after she's done. But the fact that she does that really shows how far she has come in her own development and her change and her, how she's evolved over the scope of the story because of the dramatic action and what happens in the story. And then sort of what comes out of what she says is the thematic significance climax. And that is the idea that even the removal of those that we determine are the most heinous or who have committed the most heinous crimes, even when they're dead, when they've been, put to death by electrocution, or in this case hanging, and it's a specific reason why it was hanging, it does not right the wrong, and it does not make people feel safer. At least that's the thematic significance of this story. It's not necessarily the truth for all time and for everybody and every situation, but it is true for this story. And so, and this all happens right before the very end of the book. So the energy of the story rises, 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 comes to this big moment, and then the energy disappears, which means that you have to wrap the story up pretty quickly after that. So the exercise for you is on your plot planner. I want you to think about what you think the climax of your book is, and I want you to mark it on your plot planner for all 3 plot lines if you can: the character emotional development, the thematic significance, and the dramatic action. If you need help, you can find it in my book in chapter 11. Chapter 11 is really all about climax. And in the first YouTube series, How Do I Plot a Novel, Memoir, Screenplay, again, go to my blog, The Plot Whisperer. There's a directory on the right, and there's several times that I speak of the climax. So you can refer for that for help. And then I'll see you next Monday for the next installment of the Plot Book Club for Writers. Thank you.